Fads come and go in bodybuilding, but broad shoulders capped with half-cantaloupe deltoids have always been in vogue. This is undoubtedly true because the first true bodybuilders were either superb weightlifters who were very strong at overhead pressing, e.g. Germany's legendary Eugene Sandow, or were hand-balancing experts like Maxick and Sig Klein. Indeed, John Grimmick, who won the first AAU Mr. America title in 1940, was a member of the 1936 U.S. Olympic Games weightlifting team and once set a world record in the military press. As I've mentioned many times, I was first inspired to become a bodybuilder because the Hercules films of Steve Reeves and Reg Park. Reeves, who won the 1947 Mr. America title, was the first modern bodybuilder to achieve the popular V-shaped physique. His waist and hips were very narrow, his lats tapered dramatically, and his naturally wide shoulder structure was capped and rounded and fully developed. Reg Park was one of Joe Weider's first superstar pupils, sort of an early-day Lou Ferrigno or Arnold Schwarzenegger. Indeed, Park was also Arnold's early hero figure. After working with Joe, Reg Park won the 1951 Mr. Universe title and 2 more Universes titles in later years. During the early 60s, he made several Hercules movies of his own. Park had truly Herculean development. His deltoids were incredibly thick. He was one of the first 3 or 4 men in history and the first bodybuilder to bench press 500 pounds, and he regularly did reps in the press behind the neck with more than 300 pounds. Such heavy pressing built his huge, fully striated deltoids. When I started training as a teenager, I resolved to combine the best aspect of Reeves and Park's shoulder development. I wanted Reeves' width and Park's delt thickness. Having collected a treasure trove of Joe Weider's old Your Physique and Muscle Power magazines, the forerunners of muscle and fitness, I'd read how these 2 giants had trained their deltoids. Reeves did some pressing movements for his shoulders, but concentrated more on various forms of lateral raises with dumbbells. He also favored relatively high reps, usually 10 to 15 in his delt workouts. Park, on the other hand, bypassed laterals in favor of heavy, low rep, 5 to 6 reps on average military presses, presses behind the neck, and dumbbell presses. After reading all of this, I decided to do almost equal amounts of presses and laterals for my deltoids. The deltoid muscle consists of the anterior frontal head, medial side head, and posterior rear head. For full development, it's necessary to completely develop each of these heads. Since all chest exercises strongly affect the frontal deltoids, many bodybuilders overdevelop the anterior head but neglect the posterior head. In many cases, therefore, bodybuilders need to do far more training for the posterior delts than for any other segment of the muscle. While overhead pressing affects all 3 deltoid heads to a certain degree, they most strongly stimulate the frontal delts. The triceps, upper back, and upper chest muscles also come into play in overhead pressing movements. Most overhead presses can be done standing erect, but I usually prefer to do mine seated. This isolates my legs from the movement and prevents me from bending backwards as I press the weight up. In other words, doing my presses seated makes the movement much more concentrated. My favorite overhead pressing movements are barbell presses in front of the neck, barbell presses behind the neck, Smith machine presses both in front of and behind the neck, and dumbbell presses pressing the dumbbells up together or alternately. You can also do presses on a universal gym or Nautilus machine. The secret in pressing for maximum deltoid development is to keep your elbows directly out to the sides of your torso as you press up and then lower the weight. This puts far more stress on your anterior delts than in the case if you allow your elbows to move forward as you do your presses. There are a wide variety of lateral raises. They're all done basically forward to stimulate the anterior deltoids, to the sides, medial delts, or bent over, posterior delts. Forward laterals, sometimes called front laterals, are generally done with a barbell held in both hands, with a single dumbbell held in both hands, or with 2 dumbbells. The most common form is the alternate front lateral, in which you raise one dumbbell as the other one descends. In this variation, try to occasionally raise the dumbbells up to the center line of your body, rather than up on an arc directly in front of your shoulder joints. On all forward laterals, keep your elbows slightly bent at all times. Side laterals primarily stress the medial head of the deltoids. Using this exercise regularly will broaden your shoulders considerably. Mine aren't quite a yard wide yet, but they're getting there. By developing my side deltoids, I'm sure I've added 8 to 10 inches to the width of my shoulders since I started training. If I add another 3 or 4 inches, my shoulders really would be a yard wide. I have two favorite variations of the side lateral. In one, I use 2 dumbbells, bend slightly forward at the waist, and keep my arms bent about 10 degrees. In the other, I train one arm at a time using a floor pulley and a cable running across the front of my body. You can also try doing cable laterals with the cable running behind your body or even with your working arm toward rather than away from the floor pulley. Other side delt exercises include laterals on a Nautilus machine and one-arm dumbbell side laterals, either standing and holding a stationary object with your free hand to steady yourself or lying on your side on an inclined bench. I do plenty of bent laterals to be sure that my posterior delts are fully developed and powerfully tied in with my upper back muscles. My favorite bent laterals are done with 2 dumbbells. I do them either standing or seated, with 2 floor pulleys, the cables cross below the torso, or one arm at a time with a floor pulley. I occasionally do a variation of this last movement while standing and using a high pulley. In this one, I start the exercise with my arm across my chest and then move my hand in a semicircle directly out to the side away from the pulley. You can also try doing a bent lateral raise lying face down on a 30 or 45 degree incline bench. For a good delt trap tie-in, I believe it's essential to include upright rowing in your shoulder workouts. Usually I use a narrow grip on a barbell for my upright rows, but sometimes using a shoulder width grip is a good change. I also do upright rows from time to time with a floor pulley, either using a straight bar handle or 2 individual loop handles. With so many variations of the upright row to choose from, my shoulder workouts never lack variety. I am always asked for shoulder routines. The following workouts, which are applicable to both men and women, should be done 3 days a week, and if your deltoids are lagging behind the rest of your body, use the Weider muscle priority training principle by working them first in each training session when your energy levels are highest. Beginning routine. Exercise 1. Military presses. 3 to 4 sets, 6 to 8 reps. 2. Upright rowing, 3 to 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps. Intermediate routine. Exercise 1. Press behind neck, 4 sets, 6 to 8 reps. 2. Dumbbell side laterals, 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps. 3. Dumbbell bent laterals, 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps. 4. Cable upright rowing, 3 to 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps. Advanced routine. Exercise 1. Seated dumbbell press, 4 sets, 6 to 8 reps. 2. Cable side laterals, 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps. 3. Upright rowing, 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps. 4. Seated bent laterals, 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps. 5. Seated press behind neck, 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps. Anyone who's read my previous training articles in Muscle and Fitness knows that I prefer to vary my routines for each body part, workout to workout. With that in mind, here's one deltoid program that I did just this week after first warming up with 2 or 3 high-rep light poundages sets of military presses. Exercise 1. Smith machine front press, 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps. 2. Cable side laterals, 1 arm, 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps. 3. Cable bent laterals, 2 arms, 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps. 4. Upright rowing, floor pulley, and 2 loop handles, 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps. This is a basic off-season maintenance workout for me. Prior to competition, I would add 1 more pressing movement and 1 more lateral raise, bringing me up to a total of 22 to 25 sets, rather than the 16 sets I normally do for my shoulders during the off-season. And to bring out the maximum in deltoid striations, I would frequently use Joe Weider's isotension contraction training principle. I sincerely hope that the deltoid routine I've outlined here will work for you. If you decide to make up your own shoulder training routines, be sure to include at least 1 exercise for each of the 3 deltoid heads, plus some type of upright rowing for a good delt traps tie-in. Train hard and consistently. Focus your mind strongly on the muscles you're working and be patient. With this approach, you can build shoulders that literally look like they're a yard wide.